And action.
Come a little closer to me. All right. Welcome to our very first podcast / vlog, whatever this is that we are doing.
Are we on the name?
We're kicking around the what was it?
The Unfiltered podcast with Casey Nat. Or I think it's actually just going to probably be Unfiltered with Casey and Nat.
Yeah.
I think that sounds good.
Yeah. And I'm probably going to be jiggling a baby for a couple minutes because she's trying to go to sleep. But that's part of Unfiltered. I thought it'd be fun. Well, first, we've been kicking around this idea for a while to start a vlog or restart the podcast. But it's a little tricky with babies and business and life. And I think I've been the one pushing you a little bit more on it. And then one day you just decided, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, it's, we were doing it before the babies. We tried to restart after Isla and it didn't really make sense. We have a much better vision now, and with where we're going with our business and everything that we have going on, it's just feels like the right time. And whether it's the right time for everybody else or not, I don't really care. It's the right time for us, and I think we have so much to share, and that's...
We care.
Well, I mean...
I care.
But you don't really.
I know. So, one of the things that intrigued me about doing it like this, or this format, is we were talking one night about the conversations we have with our clients. And as trainers, and as like a nutrition professional like myself, we have a lot of really great conversations with our clients and with each other too. And so this first one, the way I want to do it is like Q&A and just talking to you guys, answering your questions, and hopefully it will organically shift the way it should, and we'll have more fun conversations on here. But that's kind of where it came from, is all of the insight that we get from you guys. So this is not just for us, it's not selfish, it's also what we get from you.
Yeah, that's fair. My whole thing with we don't care if it's right for them or not is like, it's something that is important to us to do.
Yeah.
Because we want to share, and I go back to something that I heard years ago, that all the knowledge and information and experience in the world is useless unless you're willing to share it. And we have so much that we've done and experienced separately and together, so it's a good stage of our life to start sharing all of that in so many different facets.
Yeah, I guess what I was trying to say, and I'll probably cut that other part because this makes more sense. Instead of like preaching to you guys, because we don't do that to our clients, it's more so having a conversation about things that matter, real life things, health things, maybe not health things, parenting, whatever. Like, these are the conversations that we have day in, day out with people that we care about and people we work with. We care about them. So that's where I want to go with this. It's conversations. It's not telling you how to live your life.
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to us about how to live your life. Do what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, let's kick off. I'll read the first question.
Oh, wait. So explain that we're starting off with a Q&A. Did I already say that?
Yeah, we talked about the Q&A, but we can talk about it
Part of
again.
brain.
So we're gonna kick off the first episode, or whatever it ends up as, with a Q&A from a bunch of people from the Instagram questions, and
Mostly my community.
Yeah, people don't like to talk to me, but now that we're together,
Maybe they'll talk to you.
they'll engage with me more.
Yeah. We're probably going to break this into 2 parts because there's a lot of questions, which is fun.
So, first one. After 40 years on this earth, what do you not give your energy to anymore?
You go first.
Just bullshit. Like
You've never given your energy.
No, that's not true. Like, I think there was a point where I cared a lot more, and I tried to pacify things in different ways, and I tried to always like make the people, and not like anywhere and everywhere, but for the people in my community, people that I cared about, if they were going through something, I wanted to try to help them and try to be there, and I've figured out a way to not let that suck my energy out. Like if somebody needs me and a friend calls me and says, "Hey, I need you," cool. But if a friend is being stupid and they just feel like they want to bitch and complain to me, like I don't have any energy for it.
Exactly. I think what you're trying to say is you've learned how to manage your energy
Yes.
appropriately
Curtis,
and not give all of it away and save it for us, you and us.
And I think the book that David recommended to me years ago, The Energy Bus, I read that and then I reread it, and the second time reading it definitely helped me really understand, and plus just giving so much of myself away every single day in the gym with clients, like working in the service industry for the last 20 years. I've unfortunately got comfortable giving so much away that I had to figure out a way to be there for them but not give myself away in every single session.
Yeah, and those of you who work in the service industry will understand that, and that's a book Casey recommends a lot, is The Energy Bus.
Next question. Oh no, you have to answer that.
You know, something did shift in me at 40, but I would say starting at 35, I really started to weed out who I wanted to be around. And, you know, there's just people in your life that, how do I say this nicely?
Don't say it nicely. It's unfiltered.
Negative people can be really draining for me and you. And so I started to weed out. I still have friends that are negative, but they aren't close friends. Sorry, baby. And then at 40, something shifted. I had one of my clients turned 40 the same time, and we were talking about it, and we're like, man, you just like not care anymore about hurting people's feelings. And I will always care a little bit, but I care a lot less now because life is short. And I'm not saying I'm not going to go off on people, but if it's between like protecting my kids or, you know, whatever, like, yeah, I care a lot less. Like,
and I don't even think it's about like protecting people. It's about like giving people what they need from you, but not giving everything away when it's not called for.
Yeah. Gonna protect my peace.
Yeah.
I protect my peace a lot more.
No energy vampires.
No.
If you've read The Energy Bus, you know about the energy vampire.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Yeah. It's my turn. Ask a question. How is Casey handling the feminine energy at home? I love this because I often wonder how I'm handling it.
Growing up with all boys in the house, you would think that it would be really hard and really weird, but I think through so much of my career as a trainer, I've worked with women and I've just kind of figured it out. and not that I have women figured out, but I've figured out how to manage myself within the estrogen filled room, I guess is the easiest way to say it.
So what Casey does, what people don't know about Casey is that he actually does really well among women.
And I think this is an important piece, is I've always had a lot of respect for my mom.
Yeah.
And having respect for my mom has made me appreciate the women that have come into my life, friends, my wife, clients, like all of it. And I have, I guess, a special place in that, like seeing what my mom has gone through and all the things that she's done and accomplished. So, yeah.
You want to say what you heard our 4-year-old say last night, or keep that private?
What did she say?
When you were in another room and we were in the bathroom and she was talking about everyone's parts.
Oh yeah, our Isla definitely has a way to just say whatever she wants. She should be like the star of Unfiltered.
Unfiltered. She's unfiltered.
But she was talking about vaginas and how everybody has a house in the vagina except Daddy has a penis, and you know, like she knows what's up, I guess.
Okay, next question.
Am I just picking a random question, or?
Yeah. Pick a random one. We'll get to all of them, but just day 1 and day 2 will be different.
How has 2 babies changed your nutrition and training?
I'll answer. It's different. We handle it different, which is, I think, is interesting how we handle it. 2 babies, I would say. So our first daughter, Isla, was like having 2 babies, so it's just kind of stayed the same since she was born. But I do something called workout snacks, where if I have 10 minutes and I haven't worked out, then I need to work out within those 10 minutes. And I know that, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to get something in, because she was also the baby you could never put down. And so it got me accustomed to it not being perfect. And then as far as nutrition goes, it's actually made me, I'd say, more on point, because I am breastfeeding and I'm active, and I have to make sure that I'm getting enough in, or else I won't be able to function and I won't make enough milk for the baby. So it's actually helped my nutrition, or helped make sure I get enough. Yeah, I think that's it. I probably have more to say on that, but
For me, I think having our second, I'm probably more dialed in now than I have been in a really long time.
because you have to be.
Because I've had no choice. I've had to make sure that I'm up early doing all that, and I know how much better I feel if I get it in the days where I don't. I feel like shit. I'm irritable. I have shorter fuse with our hot-tempered 4-year-old. So it's important for me, it's important for the family, for me to make sure that I get it in and get it done. But we basically run 2 businesses, my training business plus the gym. I've been working on building some remote stuff. We have some other projects in the works. This is part of it. So I've really just figured out that I had to take a lot from what I did when I was fighting, where it was, there's no negotiation, it's part of my job, it's part of what I have to do every day, and not give myself a way out. I've been talking a lot about, like, not negotiating with yourself, just get it done, period, the end. Like, there's no like, oh, well, I can do it tomorrow, or I'll just do this instead. Like, there's none of that. It's, this is what I'm doing today, and I get it done. Whether last night was a great example, our 4-year-old sick, and she was up all night. I had a 6 a.m. client. I got up at 4:30 anyways, after sleeping in 45-minute segments most of the night, and just did my workout. And did I feel my best? Nope. But I felt way better because I did it than I didn't do it. So I guess, how has mine changed? I've been able to, like, refine what made me successful as a fighter and an athlete, and put that into make myself successful as a father, husband, and business owner.
I will say, I think the contrast between us is interesting, because, like, he's had to embrace more of the masculine energy and sticking to a routine, and I've been forced to embrace more of the feminine, like, go with the flow energy of, like, needing to just show up for myself and the kids in a gentle way. Like, if I need sleep, I need sleep, because that's important right now while I'm not getting much sleep. So the contrast is interesting. Like,
well, and I think when we had Isla, I was all over the place. I would try to get workouts in here, there. Oh, I have a quick break between clients, so I try to get it in. But the problem with me is I need the routine. I thrive on the routine, and if I have something else to do, or the waves are good and I didn't get my workout in, like, I'd rather go surf than work out. So if I get up and work out in the dark, then if the waves are good, I can go surf. And that's stuff that I think as you get older you start to learn and figure out, and kids' business force you into making the hard choice easy.
yeah.
All right, next one.
Yes.
What do you got?
I just asked it, or did you ask?
I asked that one.
Ooh, okay, let's go to the next page. Okay. what does Casey's go-to dinner look like if you don't feel like cooking? I like this.
My go-to dinner,
Yeah.
whatever's in the fridge. I'm the king of leftovers. If there's food in the fridge, I will figure out how to make a whole meal, whether it's for myself
Okay,
or
but give
for
an
the,
example
for
of
the
how
whole
you
family.
did like the curry the other night.
Yeah,
That
so
was good.
so there was a bunch of leftover chicken in the fridge, and I asked Isla, I said, do you want fried rice or do you want curry? And she wanted curry, so I used the rest of the rice and heated that up, and then I put a bunch of chicken in a pan with coconut milk and a bunch of curry seasonings and whatever else I decided needed to go in there. I chopped up whatever vegetables were in the fridge and put that all in there, and that was dinner. And that's how I've always cooked since I was on my own and by myself, and Natalie spoiled me over the years, but I can make food if needed.
And it, like, 90% of the time turns out great. So he's like a one pot kind of guy, one pan kind of guy, and throws it all in, and
Yeah,
it's good.
I don't like to do dishes, so as few dishes as possible. That's usually the go-to.
Okay, your turn.
Oh, this will be fun. Why home birth, and was Casey on board immediately, or question mark? You go with that.
Okay, so I had already had 4 boys in hospital. I didn't have a bad experience, but I've always, not always, but pretty much always aligned more with natural birth, even if it's in hospital. And after all the boys, I always said if I had another, I would do a home birth. And surprise, we had another. And we were in a place where it just made sense. And sorry, the postpartum brain is real. It was a pandemic. Yeah, it was a pandemic, and hospital birth was a lot less appealing than usual because of all the rules and just all the unknowns going on. So yeah, you gave me no pushback.
No, I very much do not like hospitals for a lot of things. I think Western medicine is great for emergencies
Surgery.
And some of the crazy conditions that people end up with. Like, they definitely save lives, but I think the Eastern medicine and holistic approach is way more up my alley. I have always kind of trended that way. From a very young age, I would get hurt and not go to the hospital. I had some bad experiences in hospitals, having shots stuck in my arm without me approving it and things like that. And I just kind of learned early on that I didn't need to go. If I had a broken finger, they weren't going to do anything. They were going to put a splint on it. So I started to take care of stuff like that myself. So then you add in the pandemic to it and all the chaos that was going on around that. That's a different conversation that we don't need to talk about right now. But I was very much on board. There's no, like, especially after all the books that I started to read, and Natalie would send me stuff.
Educated.
Yeah, like, you would send me stuff all the time.
Yeah.
About what it was. So when I looked at it, I don't even think it was ever really an option. It wasn't ever like, are we going to have the baby in the hospital or not? It was like,
no,
what
you read
midwife?
books while I was, yeah.
What midwife are we going to use? And yeah, the train, coastal San Diego. But the hospital was like, it was just always out as far as I was concerned, and I wanted to have an experience that was geared around your choices and not around the doctor's choices.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big one for me. I think I'm sure there's some great male doctors out there, but I don't believe that a male outside of the father has a place in birth, especially having experienced it twice now. It just doesn't make any sense. The other thing is OBGYNs are essentially trained surgeons, so a surgeon wants to do surgery. That's what they do. If you go to a surgery with a broken wrist, they're going to want to do surgery on it.
So midwives are really, really great at natural birth and helping the birth progress in a way that's beneficial to the mom and the baby. Example, if the baby's not in a great position, they know how to help remedy that, and most OBs do not, but midwives are really good at, they're trained for that. They're trained to help you have the best outcome.
Yeah. So I think we could probably do like a whole hour-long
we
conversation about this, but
we'll bring our midwife.
I was on board 100%, and I think so many people, I won't say so many people, I'll say there's so many men, fathers to be out there, that if they would just educate themselves a little bit, there would be a lot less hospital births out there, because in my opinion, my role as a husband, as a man, is to protect my wife and to protect my children. And the best way to protect them is to have full control of what you're doing and not let somebody else make decisions for you.
Great. Okay, this is a fun one. There's two that are kind of the same. How do you decide on parenting styles? And then fave parenting resources, parenting styles now versus then. That's a great question. I should probably start, since I have the experience now versus then.
Yeah, you should start.
Okay, so with my boys, I started with two because I had twins. And I would say, as a young mom, and I see this a lot with young parents, I was stricter. Loving, like, I love my boys so much, but I was definitely stricter, and I ran a really tight ship. And you have to, when you start with two, like, you don't really have a choice. Like, you can't get lost in the we'll get to this in a minute, but like letting them make all the decisions, because you have two kids, and then I had three, and then I had four, and it was like, okay, you have to be like a drill sergeant, but with love. So I would say I'm a little softer in my approach as I get older, which I see a lot with people. So fast forward to having Isla, there was a 14-year gap, and having one baby was just like, I don't want to say easy because she was a challenging baby, but we just kind of like went with it. And I thought it was cute to see Casey taking charge. That sounds bad. But I guess I watched him do some things that I wouldn't necessarily do, and I'll let him. And it's come back to bite us with a very spicy 4-year-old. He didn't make her spicy. She is spicy, and I'll let you explain how you gave her choices.
Yeah, and what made sense to me was you don't treat them like a baby, and you let them start to make decisions for themselves. And I think personality type.
Wait, can we? And when I say that, like, he would literally, like, she was a baby, and he would like hold up 2 pajamas and be like, "What jammies do you want to wear tonight? Your swan jammies or your owl jammies?" And like, she can't talk, but like, if she looked at one, he'd be like, "Yeah."
She would grab at him. That was the choice.
So like, that's how it started.
And it was like, it probably started like kind of as a joke, but it snowballed, and Isla's personality, it was like the worst idea ever. But
yeah,
at the same time, in 15 years, we're going to look back and go, all of those traits that were so hard to manage as a parent are making her the most amazing woman ever. But lesson learned, and sorry, Aria, but you're getting no choices. You're going to be told what to do from the get-go, because I'm not dealing with that again.
What he means by no choices is, okay,
no, we're going to just like boarding school.
Let's say you're rushing out the door, and you're like, "Do you get your shoes on?" And the kid's like, "But I want to wear those shoes." And you're like, "No, you need to wear those shoes because we don't know where the other shoes," whatever. Or like, "I want the blue cup." Like, those kind of choices, I thought were harmless at first, watching him parent. Again, I thought it was cute. And now it's not so cute because she flips out over like the smallest things, and I'm like, okay, you just need to like give them the blue cup if they want the green cup, like, and it's the green cup's dirty or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I explained that right.
Yeah, and right, and it could have went the total opposite way if she would have had a different personality, but she has my obsessive qualities and Natalie's temper.
Thanks.
Right? I mean, I don't have a temper.
I was very mild-mannered as a kid.
Mild-mannered with a temper, that's fair.
Yeah, okay,
But
that's fair.
she's a great combination of us. But yes, I think that's probably the biggest change for me from number 1 to number 2 is just those little things that seem like a good idea at the time, and they come back to make things harder. And I think it's not even like, oh, it just makes it harder. It takes away from the fun, like when we're trying to get her ready for bed at night, and it takes her 30 minutes to figure out what jammies she's going to put on, and then it's like we don't have time to read the book that she wants to do because it's already way too late, and it just turns into
a fight.
Way more chaos than it needs to. So
yeah.
So I think you just take more control. You shorten the leash is probably the best way to explain it.
And I'm not against, I think that's what you call gentle parenting. I might be wrong, but I think gentle parenting, I'm not against it, but I think it can go too far. And imagine trying to gentle parent with 4 boys, and you just like, no, like, y'all are gonna get the same cup. Like, you don't get a choice in this. Like, we gotta go now. So that's why I was the way I was, and it worked out well for me.
Yeah, I mean, I had older brothers, and I didn't ever get a choice.
Yeah, which, like,
I turned out okay.
Yeah. You could go too far one way or the other.
That's and I think you're right. So, and I've been a coach for 20 years, and how many clients do I coach exactly the same?
No.
Right? It's what's wrong with schools. They have a teacher, and the teacher teaches all 30 kids the exact same way.
That's what I was gonna say.
And they're maybe hitting a third of them if they're lucky.
Absolutely. So every kid is very, very different. Our 4-year-old has been so humbling for me because she's so different from my older boys, and I can't parent her the same that I parented them. Like, she gets set off really easy, so like my tone of voice, like everything needs to be pretty chill, and you have to parent them all different. So that's how parenting styles have changed.
All right, should we keep going or should we wrap up for the night?
I think we should wrap up and finish tomorrow. There's a lot more, and there might be more rolling in, but we'll get to them.
All right, so this is a great test run. It's way too cold in San Diego.
It's cold, and I was jiggling the baby for like
I think we're gonna
half
have to do baby at Grammys. We'll make life quicker and easier. Yeah, she's cute and distracting.
She's very distracting for me. Sorry.
So that's all right.
As she should be.
Great test run. We'll get it all knocked out. Unfiltered.